Going to call this meeting to order. First item is roll call.
Alderman Bray.
Oh, here, sorry.
Nope. Alderman Cleaver.
Here.
Alderman Knox.
Here.
Alderman Mills.
Here.
Alderman Skinner.
Here.
Alderman Soul.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Okay. Next item will be invocation led by Mike Cassidy from Faith United Methodist Church, followed by a pledge of allegiance from Alderman Bray.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you that we have the opportunity to be here to serve this amazing community. Lord, I thank you for all the leaders that you have raised up in Grain Valley. Speak into our hearts tonight that we might hear from you, that our words might be words of empowerment and of uplifting for this community, that we might discern the best paths and avenues to create a better future for those who live here. It's in your holy name we pray. Father, amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item is the approval of the agenda.
No changes, Mayor.
All right, no changes, see no proclamations. Next item will be public comment. We ask the citizens who wish to address the board come forward to the podium and microphone. And please make sure you've signed in with your name and address for the record. And please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do I have anyone who wishes to address the board this evening? Okay. Anyone too?
So my name is Mike Walker. I'm from the Valley Hills neighborhood. Some of you may have seen my post about the all-pro asphalt company that came through our neighborhood. They milled over the top of my truck, number one, because they did not lay flyers on all houses. The owner, Josh, decided to come to my house after the fact and thought he was going to bully nose my wife into thinking, yes, he had put one on our door, until he was reassured and pointed out that we have multiple cameras at our house. This is not what he did. He did not put any letters on our house, and he started backpedaling once the cameras were mentioned. That is the first issue I have with this all-pro paving. Number two, they hit over 1,000 feet worth of curb on just the east side of Long Drive. It is noticed that they did come through and replace some of these curbs, but they need to replace every curb that they came through and they hit. These curbs are going to prematurely fail, and they're fixed for it on the ones they did not replace the curb. They overlaid the asphalt 1 inch over the top of the curb on each side. Two things are going to happen with that. It's going to get cold, it's going to pop that asphalt. We're going to be looking back at what we were a week and a half ago where they hit it all. The second thing is all of this is going to go down into the storm drains and down to the pond. I wouldn't call it a lake, a pond that's there at the end of our road and behind the new police department. I never want to see all pro back in our neighborhood. They're going to cost our city thousands, because if we aren't going to have them replace the curbs now and our city has to go through and replace them in a year or 2 years, that's coming out of tax dollars' pockets. Nobody wants to see that. This company did very terrible work in our neighborhood. They should never be allowed to be back. And him thinking he can come up and bullnose my wife, I'm glad she's the woman she is, because he should have never come to my door like that, like he was going to prove her wrong and that we shouldn't have called the city. I do have one issue with the city. The storm drain that is at the corner of Northwest Long and Meadow, that would be the northeast corner of that intersection, the storm drain is collapsing in front of it. The city, I contacted the maintenance department, and they did come out and look at it, but their fix for it was they threw some cold patch on top of it. The cold patch only covered a very small area of this hole. This hole is 36 inches wide and 24 inches away from the storm drain box. It is going to collapse in either under a school bus or under a trash truck. If it's a trash truck or a fire truck or anything like that, I will gladly let them know that I told the city about this. And the city's fix on it was to throw some cold patch rather than take it out, fix this properly, and then allow the paving company to pave over the top of it. This was a Band-Aid repair. Mayor Mike, Rick, and the police chief, I do want to say thank you to all of you guys that took time outside of regular business hours to either communicate back with me or deal with this company that was parked in front of a fire hydrant and intended to leave them there all weekend. It doesn't go overlooked. It is appreciated by not just me, but a bunch of my neighbors. So hats off to you guys. Thank you for going above and beyond there. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mark, you wrote that storm box down, right? Take a look at it. All right. Okay. All right. Anyone else wish to address the board? I think I saw someone back here. Yeah.
My name is Andrea Elliott, and my husband and I own Elliott Glass on Eagles Ridge Boulevard. I'm basically coming here tonight to ask for your guys' support to help make Jefferson Street safer. We have spoken to MoDOT, and we've been told that nothing's going to be done to the road itself because of the widening of I-70 that's about to start or happening within the next 2 years or so. We drive this road every day. Our drivers that deliver to us drive every day. Our employees drive this, our customers drive this, and it's not a safe road. It needs guardrails. It needs to be maintained better. There's so many areas where you can go off the tiniest bit and be pulled over, and you're gonna be on I-70. And it's only a matter of time before that happens. There's numerous businesses over there that have the same complaints we do. There's huge trucks that cross that line countless times a day. There's campers that pull out all the time. I know we bought a camper over there not long ago, and there's no way I would let my husband pull out on that road. It makes no sense to us that you can go down just a little ways, down towards the Blue Springs side, the speed limit's 45, and you actually have room on each side of the road, shoulder. There's nothing like that once you get to the Grand Valley side. I kind of don't understand that. It's way more busy down there. It's definitely way more dangerous right there with the drop off to I-70. But what we need is something to make this safer in the meantime. It's going to happen again. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen again. The road is not safe right now in the summertime. The wintertime is ridiculous. Last year, as I was driving to work, there was a pothole that literally took you over as you went through it. And then with the ice on top, it was horrible. It was scary to drive. We know MoDOT's not an easy, easy to work with. They're not gonna listen to us easily. And that's what we're asking is for your support and to help be a voice to get this done for the residents of Green Valley that still have to travel this road for the next 2 to 3 years before they do some kind of a change permanently. There's guardrails, the speed limit, maintaining the road correctly. There's a lot of things that can be done, I think, in the meantime to help keep this safe. And that's what we're asking is your support. We have over 12,000 signatures on change.org. Like I said, this isn't just me in this one little spot. Everybody feels the same way. I think if you drive it, you'll very clearly see that something needs to happen. So basically, again, all I'm asking is for help and support and be a voice to please let nothing else happen again. To take someone's life, to hurt someone, whatever it is, I feel like we've got to stand up and try to do something. And I hope you guys will support us and be a louder voice to MoDOT to help this happen.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If you don't mind, since I'm standing here, I am Christian's grandmother. We have brothers, sisters. My husband, Grandpa, is here tonight. And I just want to reiterate what she also said. This road is dangerous. We all know it's dangerous. I don't one person in here that could deny that. We just need solutions. We understand there's something in the process, in a 2-3 year plan, but between now and then, more lives are going to be lost, just like Christians. We have over 14,000 signatures laying on this table that we've gone out and collected. We're hoping that that will get a start in bringing this to light, to your attention, and to move forward with helping us save more lives. Christian should have never happened. He was a kind soul. He was a beautiful soul. He had friends from all demographics, and he was loved by all. And we can't let another life be lost. We can't. For something that can be fixed as simple as guardrails, short term, we understand there's a long term. We're talking short term. We could also put up a speed sign. That would be an immediate thing. It wouldn't cost much. I can't imagine wheeling one of those signs that would just give people a reminder. You're going over the speed limit. I know that makes me slow down. I'm sure it makes most of us slow down. So something simple until the big picture is met. Because there will be other lives lost. Like my grandson, Christian Lanier. His life should not go in vain.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else who wishes to address the board? All right. So anyone else, we'll move on to consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Motion from Alderman Skinner to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right. Seeing no previous business, then we'll move on to new business. First item on new business is liquor license for Doggin Group LLC doing business as Dollar General Store number 3163.
This application was received in good order. It is the same owners and the same people that were looked at for the other Dollar General in town. So there have been no changes. They're requesting the same liquor license, which is package Monday through Friday, and then Monday through Saturday, excuse me, and then they also asked for Sunday sales. So nothing is to be consumed on premises. Everything is purchased and taken away. So looking for no motions or anything tonight. It'll come back for the next time.
All right. Any questions on the liquor license then? All right, then we'll come back to the next meeting. Next item on our new business is Facade Grant Program.
Yep, Mayor and members of the board, I put an example in front of you of what we were looking at here, but if you remember when we went through budget time, one of the things that we had talked about was, and we did set some money aside for downtown or Main Street projects. So one of the ideas we had with that, and I guess I'll back up a little more, every time we put out a survey, one of the things we hear is like needing to do something downtown, like appearance, different businesses, that kind of thing. It is the good or bad with Putner Tarsney being the main road. That is what people drive down if you go north-south, and that's a lot of people's memory of Green Valley. Once you get off the highway is what you see on Main Street. So we looked at what some other communities had done and came up with a facade grant program that we'd like to propose to you guys. But essentially it would be a match. So it would be making owners of properties down there going to have skin in the game. But if they want to do things that would help the appearance of buildings down there and kind of help the appearance of the area as a whole, then the city would kind of match those funds. As I said at the beginning, these would be ARPA dollars, so these wouldn't be normal tax revenue dollars. This would be some of the grant dollars that we got through the ARPA program. So essentially, we would cap it at $5,000 per unit, but there would be an application process. So we would open this up, see what applications we get back, score them, and then come back to you, the board, with the recommendations on how the scoring came out, and trying to get those dollars out there with the idea that, if you improve the area, everybody wants downtown to look better. So this is kind of one of those steps we know over the years it was kind of forgotten about. There's been a lot of different owners for most of those buildings there, and there's a lot of different, we'll say styles or, styles of buildings we'll go with over time. So anything we could do to try to just kind of upgrade the image as people drive through there. We know just the difference with something like, Iron Kettle coming in and just even painting and making their building look better. It's a noticeable thing when you drive up or down Buckner Tarsney now. So if we could do something to kind of get a little bit more of that going, I think that would help kind of that look overall. So like I said, we had in front of you is what we'd like to propose putting out there. So obviously this would be a competitive program. This would be something that any owner who wants to do this would have to fill out the application and give us all the information, and then we would see how that gets scored and just kind of make recommendations on what we think should go forward and be funded. So this would be kind of that, I guess, public-private partnership that you hear a lot about. But again, just thought this was something that doesn't come around very often as far as the grant dollars. It's definitely not something that could be funded constantly, but as a one-time program, thought it made sense.
Anyone have any questions?
So I clarified with Ken before the meeting, but just for the record, this is grant money that the city has received that we are passing along.
Yeah, so this would,
This is not tax.
yeah, so this would be ARPA dollars.
funds.
So this is not our general operating revenues.
And then what is the scoring process?
Yep, so if you go back to the next page there, on that, you got the application, and basically we go through and kind of essentially rank, you know, what it is, that impact that it's going to have, and then make our recommendations on that. There'd be a panel that would review those, and then we'd bring
So
those
there's gonna be an
recommendations back to the
independent
board. Yep.
Okay.
Ken, would there be a standard or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think on the front end, it'd be looking to see what the applications come back in and seeing what people are interested in. Obviously, it's asking the property owner to make an investment too. So everything doesn't need to necessarily be exactly the same, but I would say as we look through these applications, you probably don't want, you know, just a hodgepodge of different things. You would want kind of a feel that's there, but without actually putting this out there and seeing the kind of the proposals that we get back, we don't necessarily have anything right now. Obviously, there are material standards and things like that for any of the buildings along Main Street, and it is part of the downtown overlay district, so there's already some design standards that are there. This would be hopefully trying to push some of those owners that have been on the fence to kind of give them that little push over the edge to go ahead and make some of those improvements.
Are there any standards for signage, those design standards?
There are sign regulations as part of the overlay district, yeah.
It kind of looks like they're kind of all over the place down there, so I wasn't sure.
What's the pot? I don't see like a total number. Is it on here somewhere?
Not in there. So in the budgeted amount in the ARPA line, we included about 40,000 on there. So essentially, if everything maxed out, and it doesn't have to max out, 5,000 is what the cap would be, but it's very possible that not everything would be that amount. But even if it was 5, that would be 8 properties in theory, which would be a pretty good percentage of what's down there.
Any additional? Okay, do you need any action from us tonight?
No, I mean, I think at this point, it's just kind of okay to go forward with that. And like I said, after everything's scored, we'd have to obviously come back with the agreements for those property owners and get the okay from the board at that point.
Okay. Anyone have any objections?
I guess the only question I would have is any businesses who have been in violation of any of our ordinances? Is any of this money going to go towards? First off, I guess do we have any businesses in the downtown area who have been in violation of our ordinances and not fixed it?
I mean, we haven't had any that have actually gone to like the summons and court process, I don't believe. Yeah, I mean, we've given notice of violations, yeah.
You know, missing shingles and stuff like that. I didn't know if that was a violation at all.
There have been in the past, yeah. Those have had to be fixed, and there's another issue right now with it, but I think part of that would be taking into account what we could do with some of this too to not make that a continual issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there going to be any restrictions to like color or anything like that? Like if somebody wants to paint their business an obnoxious color and it just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, what we're trying to do is get as much information as we can in the application process and keep all of that in mind for our recommendations.
So is there like a standard of like tone or something?
Yeah, in the overlay district itself, I don't know that I don't think there's an actual color
I don't think.
designation in there. So that's just something that the panel would have to look at. And
But that would be
go forward
something
with.
who would either approve or deny request?
Yeah, I mean, we'd be looking at the total package of everything as it comes in. We need, drawings and specs on exactly what it is that they'd want to do. Right, I mean, I think it's probably gonna be a little different for each person that would apply, but trying to kind of leave it a little bit wide open and see what we get and kind of go from there.
Anything else? All right. All right, seeing no presentations, public hearings, resolutions, or ordinances. First, move on to city attorney's reports.
Mr. Newell, do you have anything?
I have nothing this morning.
Next up, city administrator and staff reports.
Captain Palachuk / Ed Turner there.
Mayor and board, today, just wanted to let you know, we started our annual youth program, Camp Focus. We have 2 days that we do for kids who are interested in public service careers. We start that out at Lake Tacoma, where they meet conservation, park rangers, sheriff's department, of course, our officers are there full time. Then they go down to UCM and Jupiter Police Academy there, take part in some activities. And then tomorrow they'll be at the CJC Training Center, exposed to the fire department, and some other presenters that'll come in and talk to them about public safety type careers. For the final 3 days of the week, right now we have 17 kids in that program. We actually went over by a couple of plan to cut off at, so. And then Wednesday through Friday, we have a different program for kids that are set to list for youth court. We have 12 signed up, and they get exposure to different career fields, counseling, mentoring, trying to divert them from the path that they've chosen so far. That highlight of that is they take a trip down to the state prison and take part in a program there. It's called Offenders Offering Alternatives. And when they complete that on Friday, they'll graduate and complete their youth court service time.
The only other thing we had, just a reminder of workshop next Monday at 6 o'clock in here. And that is it for staff reports.
All right. Next up, Board of Alderman reports and comments. Alderman Cleaver,
Nothing tonight.
Alderman Knox,
I have nothing, Mayor.
Alderman Skinner,
Nothing tonight.
Alderman Bray.
A couple things tonight. One, Mark, I know that you and I have discussed the interchange at I-70, coming off of eastbound 70 and turning north on Buckner Tarzi. That lane is all wrong. It's still all wrong. I don't think MoDOT has come out to do anything about it. Have you heard anything back from them? Nothing.
No, other than the correspondence that I had forwarded to you from the district
I
engineer.
replied back to her also, and I also have not heard anything back. That's going, have we had any accidents there that you're aware of? I'll check. Like, it's a miracle if we haven't, because I've almost been hit there 5 or 6 times. If you're on that inside lane, you're gonna get hit if you maintain your lane, because the outside guy is not maintaining his lane. We gotta get something done there. I mean, I got a whole thread on Facebook right now. I've had several phone calls. What can we do? I know it's MoDOT again, but what can we do to get MoDOT to reply to us?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, they said they are going to do it. They just wouldn't give us a time frame.
Yeah, just the same as with
They
their big
acknowledge that it's wrong.
pothole in front of Price Chopper. I mean, they say they're gonna do something, but they won't give us any kind of.
Mark, let me ask you a question before you respond. If there's an accident that occurs at the intersection, is that our accident or is that the state's accident?
In the intersection, it's ours, if it's on the on-ramp or the highway, it's state.
And who owns that part of the road? So I guess first, if they can't fix it, I think we should probably turn over all the accidents to them that are occurring in this troublesome area. And then secondly, at what point do we just step up and say, sorry, we're fixing it? I mean, it's just some paint, right?
Asking me or you're
I'm asking you.
Your attorney.
Asking,
You know, what liability do you want to accept on a
We'll talk
improvement
about
to
the
a road
liability
that
in
you
the
don't
back
own.
room, but I'm just asking you the question about at what point, I mean, does it become an issue? Do we ever fix any of MoDOT's issue? I noticed there was a pothole fixed out here. Did we do that, or did
MoDOT.
MoDOT finally showed up and did that one?
They didn't fix it, but.
Well, they put some stuff in it.
I assume MoDOT has elected officials as well, so I assume you've contacted the elected officials for MoDOT?
As a citizen, I have not, no. I'm asking what.
But I'm asking what
we
the
as a
city can
need
do.
to
Yeah, I mean, so typically we know we have not gone and done things to their roads. My concern with doing something like that in that intersection there that they've already said that design's not right is if we go in and start changing the paint there, that's,
Well, I just want to be perfectly clear. It's one thing if one of us reaches out. It's a whole different thing if the city reaches out. So, I mean, that's a big difference. And so I'm asking, we're having all these issues. We just had somebody come up and present about a very well-known issue that I'm not going to speak about, but I mean, it's a very well-known issue. We're having this issue. We have all these other issues. I know I've contacted my state representative, and I got nothing back on that one. I'm sure other people here have done the same thing. So at what point is the city going to do something? I mean, what point are we just going to say, hey, like, we're going to start causing a storm, act as a group here and do something about it? If we just get ignored and ignored, at what point is enough and we're just going to take action?
And I will say also, I'm a fairly well-posed individual, but I had a gentleman follow me to Casey's because I cut him off. I was on the inside lane. He cut me off. I politely explained that no, that was not the case. And if you looked at the line, it was his fault. But I'm a calm individual. Another individual may not be as calm as me. This is going to cause, and I've seen other people. My son has been approached by people for cutting them off and honked at. And it's an issue. It needs fixed. So, and I'm not coming down on you, Mark. I don't. You're looking at me like, why am I yelling at you? I'm not yelling at you.
I guess I'm just not quite sure what you want me to do.
I'm asking because you've been my contact.
Yeah,
with
I've
dealing
done
with the state
everything
on
that
this.
I've done,
What else
in
do I need to do?
contacting, the representatives
'Cause I will
at
call whoever.
MoDOT to do it. You've been a part of those emails.
If there's anybody else I need to talk to that you can put me in contact with, I'm more than happy to do it.
Yeah, and that's my point too, is we've tried all the civil things, right? Like, what
Clearly, this
else?
is a north side of town problem. 'cause it's only me
What
and
can
Ryan
we
talking
do?
about it.
What do you have any advice for the city, us up here? Other than, we can pick up the phone and call a million times. I've done it, nothing happens. I've seen your emails, I appreciate them. How do we take it a step further? Or do we just sit back and it is what it is?
Or maybe it's a question for the lawyer. Is there anything that we can do as a city to?
Keep calling.
I can tell you, I've talked to our state senators, I've talked to our Missouri reps about it. They've talked to MoDOT about it, and
Can we take legal action?
They'll tell you they don't have a whole lot of.
If
power over MoDOT.
these roadways are unsafe, and I think we all know they're unsafe, our city has reached out at least twice, I've been on those emails, that they've came back and I think even maybe said an email, yeah, the stripes are something, we'll restripe it, it's never happened. At what point can we take legal action? There are remedies.
There's not much we can really do litigation-wise. They own the roads. So that's what you're running into right now, is they own the roads, and if we go in and try to fix the roads,
Right.
we're taking on liability that shouldn't.
Can we file a writ or something that puts them on notice that this is an issue?
No. I think, I can go back and do a little research and see if there's anything that we can do, but I don't think there is.
Yeah, I would request that we do take that step, that we at least look into it. It is getting a bit ridiculous.
no.
We're in the middle of something, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, afterwards, you can come and talk to us and we'll answer it.
So that was my first thing. My second thing, this is gonna be a little bit long, and I apologize because I know we had a really short meeting tonight. Been doing some research on the Dillon rule. I know that's been discussed, and for those in the audience that don't know what that is, basically that's the rule that says that a city only has the powers that the state grants to it. I've got a report here, a document from Missouri Law Review. Said that for the first annual conference, Missouri Municipal League adopted a statement that the Missouri municipal policy, which asserted a need to clarify the legal powers and general purpose of local governments. That statement went on to say that the vast majority of Missouri municipalities cannot respond to new problems until such time as the General Assembly provides statutory specific authority on that act. You guys know I'm working on a thing. and this has come up, and I'm trying to stay in the legal area here because I know we were in executive session when it was discussed. This goes on to say that there is a way for a city to petition the state to get additional authority. I would like, and what I'm requesting, I'm not here to discuss or debate the point tonight. I would like something in writing provided to me so that I can better understand what that process, or provided to the board, so that we can better understand that process of how we request that the state give us more authority than we currently have. So I don't know if that needs to come from city staff or legal, but I want something in writing that I can study, not something that we just discuss in session, though. Is that possible? Whoever would do that.
I mean, it would be a legal opinion from you guys, right?
I can look at that.
I would appreciate that. And then on to that point a little bit further, there's a clause in Dillon law for necessary or fairly implied powers. So my question is, and I know this is legalese, and I'm not an attorney and don't purport to be one, and it took me a day to read through this. This is crazy legalese speak. So with implied or fairly implied powers and necessarily implied powers, it says where there's an express grant to the city without the method or details exercising such power prescribed, the city council has the authority to exercise that power, granted it has any reasonable proper manner. I believe that I provided that. I need to clarify what necessarily and fairly implied powers means legally. Layman's terms, when I read it, I ask myself two questions. I ask, one, does this board have the duty to pass and enforce ordinances that protect the residents and ensure the safety for the residents of Green Valley? And secondly, if the answer to that is yes, then is a minor child a resident of Green Valley? If those two answers are yes, then I think we have the implied right to pass whatever ordinance we need to pass to keep up with modern technology that the state has not kept up with. And with that, I'm done for the day.
Alderman Mills,
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Sol. Next up is mayor's report. I will finish up the street things again, so we're good there. Next thing that might be a good time for some of you is on August 6th, right, the 6th, we will be doing, I think it's the 6th, we'll be having our annual State of the City address at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon. And this year, instead of just getting up there and talking about all the great things that are going on in the city, at least Ken and I, maybe some department heads if they will do it, and some elected officials they want to show up, we are going to do it in the theme of like a Hot Ones challenge, where as we're answering questions, we're going to be eating spicier and spicier wings as it goes on. So if it's anything like last year's Public Works one I did, whatever department comes last, I probably will not be able to speak. So someone will have to speak for us. But we do have at least one hot sauce that we had to sign a waiver to purchase. So we'll see how that goes. So that is August 6th. If you want to join us, I think we'll be at the PD, right? We'll be at the PD, and we will have samples of all the sauces on the table so everyone else can join us in our misery as we go through it, right?
Yeah, sea sprayed while you're at it.
Yeah. So bring your milk and everything else. But that is all I have. I do believe we have a need for executive session for legal and real estate.
1 and 2.
1 and 2. So I will entertain a motion then to adjourn into executive session.
Second.
Got that. All right. First and second. Any discussion? All right. It will be roll call.
Alderman Sol,
Yep.
Alderman Skinner,
Yes.
Alderman Mills,
Yes.
Alderman Knox,
Yes.
Alderman Bray,
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
All right. We'll adjourn the executive session.